Shwaddhup Bruddah!
Welcome back to the Shwaddhup Bruddah podcast hour. I'm Josh Colclaser.
And I'm Tommy Govero.
And it's year 2, episode 5.
Rolling
already.
right along, yeah.
Holy crap. I can't believe it's already been 5 episodes.
Dude, it's been a whirlwind adventure already. But congratulations on this being 2 episodes in a row recorded the same exact way.
Yeah.
That
is a plus. It's not exactly how I want to be doing it, but...
No, but... It
is what it is.
And then we'll change back eventually and then finally have one set way of recording.
Yeah.
But
at least we're getting our equipment figured out. You know?
Yeah, I mean it was pretty smooth sailing for getting everything set up. I think I might be recording myself just a teensy bit hot, so I'm gonna bring myself down.
We're about as sure on our equipment as we are sure about the release date of Cyberpunk, so...
Any day around the corner now, it might actually happen.
Yeah, practice makes perfect, so... Which, from what I'm seeing of all the Cyberpunk stuff, speaking of which, oh my gosh, man, it looks amazing.
It really does.
I can't wait.
I'm really excited, and I've been, since I got the 3D printer, I've been looking up more stuff to print and things to do. And dude, people make some huge projects for Cyberpunk things, like full, assembled thermal swords where they're like, oh, okay, well, this part will print empty, so you can put, this, Arduino board in there, and then you're gonna run this LED strip down the blade. And you can slide a tube down this thing to make it look like the thermal element. And it's just dude, what the, you just got bored and designed this? That's amazing.
Man. There's all kinds of people that make some crazy stuff like that with just the Raspberry Pis and Arduinos and stuff.
Oh yeah, it's insane.
It's amazing what you can do with those in a 3D printer.
Oh yeah, the mechanical wings. I've seen some cosplay of that where they come up and spread and they're RGB and set to display in certain light patterns. It's insane.
Yeah, no, it really is.
I'm over here printing sanding blocks, which I'm super proud of, because I was I got myself some sandpaper, trying to soften up a few of my prints, and I was you know what I need? I need a little sanding block. And there's some that use regular screws that you can place a bolt into while it's printing, right. And then kind of basically thread it through like that. But this one is fully 3D printed, the top block, the threads, the screws, and it's holding sandpaper in there just fine, and even did a little bit of sanding with it.
Nice.
I'm super impressed with the stuff that you can make. I hadn't shown you yet because we didn't hop on video chat, but I printed out this flexi octopus with has a little top hat and monocle, but it prints all in place, so it's one solid thing. And as soon as you lift it up off the mat, the legs dangle, and so that's
really cool.
I brought it up and showed Lauren, and she was like, "Yeah, that's definitely the cutest thing you've printed yet." No doubt. I printed her this fidget cube, and I'll get into the 3D printing stuff later. But yeah, it is incredible what some people can design and come up with. But man, Cyberpunk, everybody's excited for it, I think.
Oh yeah, it's gonna be a wonderful time waster, and I can't wait to waste a little bit of time with it. So
yeah, time well wasted.
Hopefully, Anyway, it is our Thanksgiving episode special.
Yes, not doing it exactly as planned, but
right, didn't exactly go accordingly, but that's okay. We're still in the spirit, and
yeah, still thankful.
Yeah, I think it'd be really nice after we go through our favorite segment, if we kind of just give what we're thankful for, and I don't know. Last year we kind of talked about like what we did as kids and stuff on
Mm-hmm.
Thanksgiving. Um, I'm kind of going with like, are there any new traditions and stuff now that we're older and uh,
Yeah, we could talk about that. There's
older?
definitely new traditions this year.
Oh yeah. Well, and there's definitely. I mean, I just know since I've gotten older, it's definitely different, like way
Oh
different.
yeah.
So, can't wait to jump into that. Other than that, how was your week, buddy?
I'm glad you asked.
Well,
It's
of course.
it's been a good week, short week, holiday and all. But just pretty much been spending most of my time 3D printing. Like even though it's pretty passive, like you start the print and it's gonna go, and you check on it as it goes through it to be like, oh, okay, is it just spraying filament everywhere because it like messed up and it hasn't been able to print onto a surface, so the filament's just going wherever it can. I haven't had anything bad like that happen, luckily, but
Mm-hmm.
so you check on it, but I mean, it's like I start a print, I'll start reading my book. Still got that up here, Rhythm of War. And for our video watchers, I do have Luna. My kitty cat is in with me today, but she's just chilling on the back of a chair right in between my book and the little octopus. But
Oh, Luna's my little
it's
buddy.
yeah, she loves you more than she loves me. But yeah, dude, it's like I'm either actively down there watching a print, or then I'm like kind of reading while stuff's going, or I'm like watching videos about the printing. And I actually got into the whole aspect of like 3D modeling this week. Not to say that I can do it yet by any means, but I installed the latest version of Blender, which if anyone out there has ever been interested in 3D modeling, or like even if it's like making things for games, like it all, there's so much stuff you can do within this. It's a video editor, it's an animation studio, it's a 3D modeler, sculptor, editor, what have you. And it's free. It's like insane, but there's so many tutorials out there. So I've been watching a few of those that are like going through building a scene that's like Minecraft style, keep it simple, keep it blocky, stack blocks, size them, snap them together, things like that, add gravity. But like for my part of 3D modeling, for printing something, like I don't have to worry about the animations and gravity. It's just like, what's the
Mm.
shell? And as long as I can make something look right, then and it has like the right triangles, then it'll hopefully print. Or I'll at
Yeah.
least throw it in Mesh Mixer and just keep fixing errors until it does print. But like there's been a few things that I've gotten to play around with, and then I'm super proud of this, and it's super like simple and kind of lame. So um last night, there's one thing that I've been wanting to print, and it's like any sort of phone booster for sound.
Mm-hmm.
And there's one that I saw in a video that's like, oh, it hooks on to like the shower curtain rod, or to like any sort of like ledge, and it'll boost sound. And it's but it has like a big plastic cover to kind of protect your phone from moisture.
Right.
And so I was like, oh, okay, well, I'll give that one a shot. So I printed it out, and the clip it's like more so designed to sit on like a sliding glass door, shower door.
Yeah.
And I have a rod, which, I mean, the flat part of it, isn't a problem, but it just wouldn't fit. It's like 13 millimeters on the inside of this lip thing, and luckily it's a separate piece from the whole thing, like it slides on. So I did my first remix, where I took the clip, put it into a different program, sliced the back wall off, and the part that attaches to the actual like holder,
Mm-hmm.
and then stretched out the additional like 12 millimeters I needed on the middle portion, fused it all back together in the object creator, exported it as a new STL file, which is like a stellography or something, stellanography. Exported that and then brought it into Cura, sliced it. It all looked fine, printed it out. It fit perfectly on there and fit on the shower rod. Like, it worked great. I was able to listen to music while I was, taking a shower, keeping up the hygiene. And yeah, I was just like, man, this is the first thing that like I edited and made some changes to, and it worked. Like, I'm really proud of myself.
I'm proud of you, Bruddah.
Thank you. So I've just been really getting into that. I have a whole bunch of stuff over here, but I'm not gonna do the full show and tell like I did last time. But I do have like probably the other thing that I'm most proud of, besides the octopus and changing that, is the butterfly knife. Just because, like, it was always that cool knife in CS:GO.
Oh yeah.
And
it's definitely an iconic knife. I mean,
yeah.
Not just in CS:GO, but
oh yeah. Just like, the whole like art of twirling it is called, I think it's balisong or something like that. I can't do really anything. I looked up a little video to do like 2 tricks. I was like, cool. And unfortunately, the first iteration of this, all the pins were vertical printed, just like supposed to act as pins, and had a little like end cap that fit over it, and you glued it down. Every time I dropped it, one of them broke. So I had one spare M3, I think M3 by 16 screw, and it happened to thread through just perfectly, but I don't have any for the other 3. So one edge is zip tied, one has the original pin, one is the M3, and then I MacGyvered the last one with a paper clip, pushed through and like twisted it around so it would clamp down on both sides. And it's like, it'll last, but I got a whole like assortment of bolts and even bearings, actually. Skateboard bearings coming in the mail from Amazon, so I can make, things that roll, like a new filament roller, so that way it kind of keeps the filament smoothly going instead of like causing big tension and a pull, and that can jerk the machine. And you can see that reflect in your print, where it'll have a little bitty like artifact or imperfection on a layer, which usually you won't really notice it, or something that can stand out. But it's like, if you can reduce it happening, might as well. But yeah, I've been printing my heart out. What have you been up to,
buddy? Nothing. This week has just been work, and more work. Hanging a bunch of drywall this week, so that's been a bunch of no fun.
Yeah, especially if you drop any of it.
Well, I haven't dropped any of it, but it's a pain in the butt. So
yeah.
Yeah, that's pretty much how my week went. So nothing much new other than trying to just get the hang of editing this video. So
is the animals going crazy?
Oh no, my phone was going off. Forgot to. Well, it was actually my iPad making the noise. So technically my phone is on silent, but
there you go.
No,
shift blame.
Right. But no. So other than that, hopefully it'll go good. My birthday's this week, so I'm pretty excited for that. Thanksgiving's this week.
Yeah, happy early birthday. And
thank you.
I guess by the time this releases, it'll be belated birthday, but...
Right. Bella is now joining the podcast as well, so...
She heard Luna's in here, and she's like, I can't let her be the only cat.
So... I guess let's just jump into it. Again, last year we kind of talked about on our Thanksgiving episode, we kind of talked about our childhood Thanksgivings and like some of the nostalgia in it and whatnot. Like I said, I think it'd be really cool this year to kind of go over what we do now as adults. So. I don't know if you want to start with that, Bruddah, or...
Sure, I'd be absolutely down for that. So, as I've moved out of the house, lived on my own for a while, I was living in St. Louis, so I wouldn't really see, um, I wouldn't like do as much. I would just pretty much like come to one family thing. And like at that time, I feel like we were still doing one really big family gathering.
Right.
But it definitely feels like in the past 8 years or so, or I guess more so 6 years. I'm like, how long have I been living here? 7? I don't know. The more recently, it's been like just we'll have a small gathering with like a fourth of my family, extended family, over at this person's house, and then we'll have like just like my parents and my sister, like just immediate family. We'll do something at my sister's house, and then we have like the pretty much like reflection of that on my wife's side, and we're going to everybody's thing there. So I feel like it went from being just these, for my families and everything, being these big giant celebrations, to like hitting multiple family things, and a lot of times like scaling them down. I think, I don't know if maybe it was Christmas that we actually did this, but I know one of the holidays in the season, on one of Lauren's side of the family, we just straight ordered pizza. We were like, guys, let's not do that. Like, let's not all just worry about stuff. Like, wouldn't it be great if we just like showed up with a bunch of Casey's pizzas and we all pitched in and just ate pizza and hung out? And like I said, I'm pretty sure it might have been Christmas. And of course, there's still so much stuff that gets made. Like, oh, well, it's not Christmas without, the side. So we got to make the side and stuff like that. But yeah, and then this year, like, obviously, where me and Lauren are staying home, and it's just the two of us, and we're not going to any family things. We're going to be doing video chats with all of our family members, and getting to like hopefully eat with them in a sense. But
right,
it'll be different. So this is the first year I've ever prepped a turkey.
Jeez, Bella, come on.
It was disgusting, and I did it just before this podcast, and I was like, boy howdy, I sure hope this doesn't traumatize me. And I get like the 1,000-yard stare. Is like, I didn't just like salt and pepper the turkey like to get it going. It was what's known as spatchcocking, where you cut out, it's spatchcock. You cut the spine out of the bird and then flip it over so it would be like on its back, but now it doesn't have a back, and you flatten it with the bones. It wasn't fun at all. I really didn't.
Fun, like,
I didn't have a good time. It wasn't like the worst thing, and I had gloves on that were like to the middle of my arm, but I was real ready for it to be over. But like I cut it out, flatten it out. Like, it smells good. We got it brining, doing a dry brine right now, and then tomorrow we're gonna make a compound butter and put that under the skin. It's disgusting. Like, I have so much respect for the people that prepare food on a daily basis, because I'm like, man.
Me too. Seriously, like
butchers, especially.
When I'm cooking food, like, and this is coming from somebody who actually enjoys cooking. For the most
part. I love to cook. Yeah. It's
most of the
but
time,
apparently
though,
I love it from a certain step.
So like desserts and stuff. Love cooking desserts.
Oh yeah.
Like, I absolutely enjoy it. It's a lot of fun. The mess isn't so much fun, but I love cooking the desserts. I love eating the desserts.
Well, it also
food, like meals and stuff, not so much. It really just depends on the food. Most dinners and stuff, I cannot, like, it just grosses me out.
Yeah. Lauren and I will tag team a lot through like dinners. Either like, I don't mind doing it all myself. Like, I don't really get that grossed out. I was pretty grossed out today doing the turkey, but
Oh,
you
I'm
know,
grossed out just hearing about it.
I know, and I'm sorry to all of our listeners because it was
Yeah, graphic
awful. Yeah, it should have definitely hit that up. But if you want to see what I'm talking about, binging with Bobbish, which now his YouTube channel is actually Bobbish Culinary Universe, is the BCU. And but he had a video, that's actually what I followed for. They did a live stream where they cooked an entire Thanksgiving meal in 2 hours, stuffing, sides, desserts, turkey, like started prepping the turkey at the beginning of this 2 hour live stream and was finished cooking with like 15 minutes left in the video. It was really impressive.
I'll leave that to him who knows who he's doing.
Yeah,
I've
you can always skip.
If his videos doing some of the Zelda Breath of the Wild recipes, I thought those were pretty interesting. That he
if you liked that one, you gotta watch. I think it's on Polygon is the YouTube channel, but it's Brian David Gilbert, who he's kind of my spirit animal. It turns out, even though he's younger than me, so maybe I'm his spirit animal. I don't know, but the way that he just I talked to you about his reading the Halo novels. Well, they did an episode where they cooked everything from Breath in the Wild as it is in Breath in the Wild. Like, if it doesn't have salt as one of the ingredients in cooking it, they can't add salt in actually cooking it. So a lot of the stuff turns out real gross.
Oh, I'm sure it does.
But it's hilarious. It was a really good video, and like it's well paced. But yeah. But anyway, I watched following that the Bobbish thing. Like, it wasn't too bad. And normally cooking, I'm just like, all right, back on topic for me. Normal cooking doesn't really bother me too much. Like, I don't know. I don't like messing with raw meat, and it's more so just of like, I think the hygiene of it, I think, is like what puts me off. But I know Lauren, like, if she has to cut up meat, that's a big no from her. So she'll always be like, okay, well, you can come and do this.
Yeah, meat's a big one. Like,
yeah,
it's like grilling is pretty much the only way that I like to cook meat. Like, for me to like see it and stuff.
Yeah.
Not saying I won't cook it, but it's just like I have to kind of like turn that part of my brain off when I'm cooking it any other way. For some reason, grilling it though is just very satisfying. I don't feel like it's gross at all. Like, I don't know. It's very weird, me and food.
I wonder if it's because like anything that's like coming off of it is like getting separated from the meat. Whereas, like, in a pan, you're seeing it cook off and be in the pan with it?
Maybe. I really don't know.
I'm not a food psychologist, so
I'm
not going to pretend to be.
Maybe we'll have to do some note-taking sometime. I really don't know. But
yeah, I'm with you,
weird
though.
with food anyway, so...
I love grilling. It's definitely, like, the best cooking method for me.
Yeah, no, definitely. Speaking of like food grossing out and stuff, one thing that's kind of changed in my family's tradition of Thanksgiving is like, I mean, we still have like the turkey and the ham and stuff, but that's not become as important to my family to have that.
What's the new hotness?
Honestly, it's kind of a la carte. There's also, my mom's made Italian one year. I remember that. But it's just kind of like we kind of all just get together and decide what we're making that year. This year is going to be a little bit different though because of everything that's going on. My dad actually has to work, which sucks, but so me and Mariah, we're going over to her mom's. Gonna eat over there for brunch tomorrow. And then I'll probably bring a plate over to my mom and my brother. And hang out with them for a bit. But
That's nice.
yeah, I mean, other than that, I'm just going to be at home. Me and Mariah are leaving for out of town on Friday. That was a little special birthday surprise for me that she kind of gave away. She got upset because I guessed it all, but it's like,
Oh,
the clues she was giving me, it was not hard to put 2 and 2 together, you know. I knew exactly where we were going.
where are you guys going, if you don't mind me asking?
Oh, we're going to a condo in DeSoto, Missouri. So it's only like an hour away, but it's...
Hey man, a getaway's a getaway.
It's kind of out in the middle of nowhere, so it feels like it's just, farther away. But at the same time, if we needed to get back home, it's just a hop, skip over, so...
Yeah, I think that's a good happy medium.
Yeah, I mean, me and her we both have been working so much, like, we're both really excited to just sit in the condo, binge watch one of our shows, play some Donkey Kong Country, and just chillin'.
Yeah. Dude, have you guys watched, I would be more surprised if you haven't, but Schitt's Creek?
Oh, yeah, I've seen a little bit of it.
We finally started watching it. That is a hilarious show.
Yeah, it's pretty funny. It's not something I've been able to get into just because I haven't had time to like restart or start watching anything new, other than the show Kingdom that I've been watching with Mariah. It's actually got one of the Jonas Brothers in it.
Interesting.
But it's about UFC fighting and all that. And this. Yeah, I mean, it's a really, really good show.
That was not what I expected.
Yeah, it wasn't what I expected
the name Kingdom
either, whenever she told me. So, but it's turned out to be a fantastic show. I highly recommend watching it and giving it a shot.
All right.
If you're into those more serious shows. Although, I mean, when I say serious, I mean like, those dramas or whatever. Not necessarily like your Letterkenny or something like that, or Schitt's Creek.
Yeah.
It's
not The Office or Trailer Park Boys. It's
right,
but it's not Game of Thrones either. Like,
right.
It's a little bit more grounded in reality, but still being a serious tone, I guess.
Right. I mean, there's definitely some funny stuff in there. The characters are the people who play the characters. Even I think it's Nick Jonas, I want to say. Don't quote me on that. I don't know. I don't know. But they all do a very good job on their characters and everything.
Yeah.
Really like it so far. We're on the 3rd season. That's all that's on Netflix right now. So, been watching that, and then it just got announced that Letterkenny season 9 should be coming soon. So
heck yeah,
I'm very excited for that.
The day after Christmas, coming on Hulu.
Is it?
Yep, that's what I saw. It releases Christmas morning on Crave, which is Canadian Hulu.
Right.
And then it releases on US Hulu the day after.
Well,
so
Merry Christmas to everybody from Letterkenny, I guess.
Yeah, dude.
It's pretty awesome.
I'm excited. The trailer shows like almost nothing, but it does, like the way that it pans down. It has Rosie walk in, and like she walks up to Wayne and sticks her hands.
Yeah, I've seen that.
Yeah, so like the way it pans down into her stomach, Lauren goes, "Is Rosie pregnant?" Like instantly was her assumption and her prediction for the show. So we'll see if that's what the case is this season.
Yeah, we'll see. I don't know. They tried that once already with Wayne and what's her face?
The blonde.
Oh, is it Tawny? Is that her name?
I don't know. Tanis, that's what it is. Tanis calls after they hook up or whatever. She calls him. Oh, yeah. Spoiler alert. And calls him and is like, hey, I'm pregnant. And he's like, oh, F. Like, So, I don't know. We'll see. That is, I mean, it's good observation, definitely. I wouldn't be shocked. She also might just have babies on the brain, so
right.
Probably looking forward everywhere.
Yeah, exactly. You never know. So, plenty of good shows, obviously, to watch and to look forward to.
Yeah, definitely. I'm looking forward to watching some stuff here whenever it comes out, but really excited for. I think whenever Cyberpunk comes out, that's going to be like my everything. That's all I'll be doing is playing Cyberpunk.
Oh yeah, I really need to pick up a side job or two so I can make sure I can get a copy on time.
Speaking of games that don't cost money that you can pick up now, it's actually one that one of my coworkers was like, "Hey, have you seen this? It's it's on early access, but it's called RAM Pressure, and it's kind of XCOM esque. Which when I say kind of, I mean like it's pretty much XCOM, and but less alien." That is still it's a tactical story driven online multiplayer multiplayer game combining turn-based combat of XCOM with deep well-grounded sci-fi setting. So it still has aliens, just less aliens, and it is single player and multiplayer. So I know, we always wanted to be able to play XCOM together, but it was only really doable with. Oh, well, I feel super bad suggesting this right now because the reviews are like all over the place. I haven't played it yet, but it does, it looks promising. It is in early access.
I feel like the review section's getting more and more. You
I
just
don't
don't know
know
what to believe with them.
I would believe a lot of things whenever it says it has a lot of pay to win feel to it. You can buy money for real money, 250 to 750 per mission, but you get a lot more if you put money in. Yeah, healing your guys after a mission costs money, usually more than it cost. The more than you got from the mission. That's sounds like maybe they just have some balancing stuff, but. Yeah. Well, either way, it's something. It's free. It doesn't hurt to take a look at, but I would definitely be maybe a little apprehensive on spending money on it after looking through some of these reviews. But it is what it is. Still something, like I said, it's XCOM-esque, so I know you're a big fan of those style of games, and it's free.
Well, I will definitely keep an eye on it. Is there anything you're going to be playing over Thanksgiving? Are you going to have any time to play anything?
I mean, most likely, if I have much free time, it'll probably be spent with Blender tutorials and, just learning that whole aspect of 3D modeling. And then, at the same time of getting into that, I'm also trying to get into, like, the CAD design of everything with, maybe making more things of like, okay, well, I need a cylindrical part that's like 10 millimeters tall and it has a diameter of 6 millimeters and like, and then it needs to fit into this thing. And like, I'm really excited to get into that aspect of stuff too. And like, just finding like little problems that I can solve easily with making something for it. Like if something just doesn't fit right, like print a new part for it, or something starts breaking or making weird noises. Like I don't know, it's the stuff, like I said, I'm most excited for is like the practical application. So I've been I'll probably be spending most of my time doing that. But I did there's one other game that is not free to play, but has been catching my eye lately, and I think it's on sale right now. Yeah, so it's $10.50. It's usually $14, so I guess it's not really that big of a sale. But it's called Slasher's Keep. It's a really interesting art style. Like it's a first-person dungeon crawler, with like 2.5D hand-drawn graphics. I don't really know how else to describe it. I honestly just have to send you a link to it. and see what you think about the art style on it. It's different, but I'm a big fan. I've been watching Northern Line play it, and I don't know. I'm definitely a sucker for, like, if he's playing something and it looks interesting to me, I'm like, well, maybe I'll pick it up too. But it's definitely, if you like roguelikes, I think it has a lot of really cool features to it.
Yeah, I'm so with roguelites. I mean, I just feel like the market for them got so flooded, you know, like so
Yeah,
fast that
it's
it definitely kind of took away from my experience of those types of games. So I really had to find what really interested me and kept me
yeah,
playing it, you know.
that makes sense.
Like Dead Cells. I think that was a fantastic game. Um, but even that, I got bored of it after so long. So
Yeah,
anymore, it's been so hard to play video games. Pretty much the only thing I've been playing when I have any bit of time, which is usually like 20 minutes here and there, is Age of Calamity.
yeah, that makes sense. You just got it, and
Yeah,
it's got a lot of gameplay to do.
oh yeah, and it's actually every time I pick it up and start playing it, like the more I play it, the better it gets. So,
That's a good quality you can get in a game.
yeah, I mean it's very unique and it's weird. I feel like this game's gotten a little bit of controversy from Nintendo fans. Um,
Really?
yeah, I mean a lot of people they're like,
I mean,
it's just a Warriors game. It's like, well, duh. Like,
it's not like they're hiding that fact. It's Hyrule Warriors.
right, like I don't know. There's just a bunch of silly nitpicks on the game and stuff, and I think for the most part they did a fantastic job, and especially adding and really trying to improve from the first Hyrule Warriors. And they're actually the fact that they're actually adding in the story line to it and everything. So I'll definitely be playing some of that over Thanksgiving weekend. Um, my other brother was talking about No Man's Sky
Yeah.
and how he's been playing that and stuff lately. So he's kind of got me interested in playing that again a little bit.
Dude. Well, I mean, it'll be after, or it'll happen prior to this episode coming out, but after us recording it. But that stream with Zach, we're gonna be playing No Man's Sky. I also realized whenever I talked about it last week, I shouted out Zach's stream, which once again, definitely go check him out. But I don't think I ever gave what my Twitch URL is either. So you can find Zach gotta pull him up. So, I think he actually switched it back to the fist cake. I believe so. So he was doing Zach Log Project for a little bit, but yeah, it does look like he has changed back to the fist cake for his URL. But mine is twitch.tv/IT_XAUMBY. And so yeah, we'll be playing some No Man's Sky and hopefully be doing some more streams in the future. So wanted to shout that out.
Yeah. No, that'd be cool.
You're more than welcome to join.
I'll be out of town, brother.
Oh yeah. Oops.
So, but yeah, so I think I'm just going to be trying to relax as much as possible over Thanksgiving and playing some Age of Calamity and binge watching some shows and that kind of stuff. Just kind of getting relaxed because I haven't been able to in a while. Kind of regroup,
Yeah. I mean, that's the best thing about the Switch too, is that, it is such a portable console that you just take it with you on vacation and pull it
Oh,
out
yeah.
when you can.
Yeah, well, that's what I love about it. It's just such a pick it up for 20 minutes and set it down, and you don't feel bad about it. Like,
Yeah.
you're not like, oh, I've got to get to this next part. Like,
Yeah, there's
I
no
feel like I've got to sit here for a few hours, you know?
yeah. And like there's still some games where you have to save and like it doesn't really do the auto resume, but like I feel like 90% of the stuff on the Switch is so stop and go whenever, it doesn't matter. Like you can be in the middle of a fight and you can hit the power button and resume it later.
Yeah, I mean, I've still have yet to come across a game that doesn't work with that, so.
There's just like one, for instance, would be Animal Crossing doesn't always resume well, especially if like a long amount of time has passed.
Yeah.
That's because the
of
game's grounded in real time.
Right, like, and that's what I was thinking. I wonder if that's the reason why. But
And even still, like if you just hit it and like hit the power button, go wash some dishes, come back, hit it, like you'll be fine and it'll resume right where you were, but it might like kind of stutter for a second as the time catches up.
Interesting.
Yeah, but I feel like I said pretty much every other thing I've ever played, it's stop and go instantly.
That's definitely things you don't think about whenever you think about how games like that are made, you know?
Yeah. It's really interesting. And the fact that the Xbox has introduced that like hot pause swap game type thing.
I know. I chuckled. I'm
It's
happy
like,
that they did. That
you
was
took
a
notes.
smart room, but I
Yeah.
chuckled.
And then Sony took the haptic vibration.
I did
and
not
they
know
added
that, but that makes me chuckle as well.
Yeah. I mean, like we said, it's something that is gonna eventually be like that episode that we talked about, the super high detail, the HD rumble, that's what it is.
Yeah.
And like so they have haptic vibration on the PS5, so it's not HD rumble,
We
but
talked
it
about
is
haptics too in that
Yeah,
episode,
I mean, it's still like it's accomplishing the same thing. It's a much more refined vibration. And so that's in the PS5 controller now. And like
here's the problem though. How many developers are going to actually develop for it? Because I was super excited for it for the Switch. And nobody developed for it. There's maybe 2 games, I think, on the Switch. Out of all the games on the Switch, I think there's 2 games that actually utilize it. And one of them is called 1-2 Switch.
To showcase it. And it was made for it.
Right, to showcase it. So, I'm just... I think Xbox is going to win that feature war on that one. Because I don't know how many developers are actually going to develop for that. But who knows? Maybe it'll actually make it a more prominent thing for developers to develop for because it's on PlayStation 5.
Exactly. I think the more like availability it has for them to do stuff with it, like it'll be more inviting. But at the same time, like the Kinect never took off for the Xbox, and that was supposed to be, has facial recognition. You control your Xbox with your voice, and you play all these games that like basically bring the game into your living room, but that flopped.
Right.
PSVR is doing pretty well, but like even with the PS5, there hasn't been any step to it. It's not. I don't even think it's PSV. It's like it is capable, but I don't think they've done anything with VR for the PS5 yet. So a lot of time, or even like the PS4 controller, I have one here. Has like a little light bar on the front, and some games will like it'll change the color based on like how much health your character has.
Mm-hmm.
But it's novel. Like it doesn't really do anything, doesn't add much. Oh no, my video's not recording suddenly.
Oh, you might want to fix that, Bruddah.
It's recording now. Let me check. Okay, well,
You got me
it just
nervous
stopped.
about mine, but I'm not gonna check it if I don't have it. You guys just won't see my face this episode.
Yeah, I don't know what stopped it. I probably clicked on something whenever I don't know. I've been messing around on it, but it shouldn't have cut out much. But yeah, so I forgot what I was talking about now because that video, like noticing that it stopped recording, just like shook me so hard.
We were talking about like the HD Rumble on the PS5 and the Xbox.
Yeah,
and
yeah,
I'm failed and that kind of shit.
Yeah, I'm glad that some the consoles are taking from the advancements that the Switch has made and giving it the respect it deserves, and that it did innovate a lot of things in the last generation that's now getting implemented in the new generation.
I hope it does get the respect it deserves,
Yeah.
Because most of the time I feel like Xbox and PlayStation players, they just automatically roll the Switch out because it's not the high-end graphic console and stuff like that.
Yeah, like it doesn't even do 4K. What's the point if it doesn't do 4K? I don't have a 4K TV, dude. I don't know what you're talking
what's
about.
What's the point of me doing 4K? Because I don't even have any 4K like peripherals, so it's just like I do hope they get the respect they deserve. Not that it's like a crazy important deal to me or whatever. I'm not gonna go like
you're not invested in Nintendo stock, which maybe you should.
Right, but it's just one of those things. I hope that they get the credit that they deserve, and it's not like, oh, look what Xbox did. It's this crazy new thing, and it's like, well, it's actually been there for a while. Or look what PlayStation 5 did.
Yeah, which I will say, like, Xbox did build on it by letting you pause one game, start playing another, stop that game, go back to the first game.
I did see that, and kudos to them for.
I mean, it has more power to work with to do it, so it makes sense. Like, there's more RAM to store multiple, just temporary things.
Right, and I mean, I'm not sure. I'm sure there is some use case for that. Maybe
it's pretty novel at the same time.
I could say maybe not for the two games. I couldn't see myself switching to another game. But if I was Xbox, I would not be showcasing it with that in mind. But pausing the game, going to another app or two,
Netflix or Hulu,
and just going through them, and then be like, oh, it's the end of the night. I want to go back to my game, and then I go right back into where I was. That right there, like, that's what I would be showcasing, because that's going to be, I feel like, actually
the more common, absolutely,
for most users.
Yeah, I would agree with that. That seems much more likely to be why you would want to have multiple apps running in a sense like that. But
right,
I'm sure it does work with it in that regard too. But they're definitely like showing off, like, ooh, look how powerful it is that you could pause this game and play this one. But yeah, Xbox also kind of flopped on the fact that their launch was like they have next to nothing.
Yeah.
But they are fully backwards compatible,
which is really nice. A lot of good games on the original Xbox and the Xbox 360. So
now, if only Sony did that, like if they released a PS5 variation that was full backwards compatibility, and they're like, play all your old PS2 games. Oh my God, I would get a new console so fast just so I could play PS2 games. So you're telling me, and if it had like a built-in upscaling, I'm gonna put Baldur's Gate in there so fast. get your butt over on here, sitting on my couch. We'd be playing Baldur's Gate till the cows come home.
Oh, heck yeah, brother.
Dude.
Yeah, speaking of gaming and consoles and stuff, it's not, this is kind of an unexpected, I guess, player in the ring, but Apple, it seems like they are making more leaps to satisfy the gamer.
The developers. Is that where?
Yes and no. So they just recently released a new MacBook Air, MacBook Pro, and Mac Mini, all with their new M1 chip. And what this M1 chip is, it's not Intel or AMD. This is their own chip that they made. It's ARM based, or silicone. I don't know. Anyway, pretty much the reviews that these have been getting, it's insane. I mean, the MacBook Air starts out at, I think, $700 or $900.
Ain't bad.
But it's beating out like, $2,000 or $3,000 laptops and stuff, like enthusiast laptops and core like benchmarks and stuff.
That's what's up.
But people are actually gaming on these as well with no problem.
Yeah.
With the Apple's built-in GPUs, and they've got this program they call Rosetta or whatever that emulates pretty much other software. Like, man, I'm too much of an idiot to be explaining this, but to my knowledge, it pretty much something that wouldn't normally work on a Mac, you could essentially run it through this Rosetta. And
I thought that was like Boot Camp was what that was called, where you could basically encapsulate like a Windows 10 or Windows 7 environment and run whatever program through that.
So it doesn't encapsulate an environment or whatever. It just runs the program and translates everything in real time.
Gotcha. So it's like a different take on it.
Yeah, I mean, it's extremely powerful from what I've seen. I'm super impressed with this M1 chip. Like the new Mac Mini. You can get the new Mac Mini for $700, and you're talking, I mean, you'd be paying a shit ton of money, let's just put it that way, for something comparable to its specs for like an Intel version,
Yeah. Well, that's what's up.
With the MacBook Air, you're seeing 20 hours of battery life now, which is just insane for laptops, especially the smaller ones with smaller batteries.
Yeah, my work laptop gets about 35 minutes.
Yeah, it's
but I think that's just because it's crapping out.
Well, that's probably it. My Blade, it would get 2 or 3 hours unless we were gaming on something pretty heavy, in which case it was about an hour and a half, 2 hours.
You also had a swelling battery, though, so...
Well, that was towards the end.
Also a bad benchmark.
Well, no, that was towards the end, so... I'm just saying, like... Through the whole
laptops
time,
usually don't go long, but it's cool that the new Macs have some actual battery life. Hopefully they don't push out any updates to change that.
I don't think they will, because this is something...
No, because they're legally not allowed to do that anymore.
Well, this is something that they're touting,
Well, yeah. Well, they've always touted long battery lives for things, but then they'll send out updates to kill it as time goes on to force upgrade. Planned inadequacy or planned failure, something like that. But no, like Apple lost multiple lawsuits because they were forcing old devices to fail.
Yeah,
which they can't do that anymore. So it should keep a good battery life for a long time.
Yeah. Anyway, so that was pretty exciting news for me as a tech fan, and
heck yeah.
you're also talking about fanless units, So on some of these benchmarks where these laptops were having to kick up their fans all the way and it sounded like you're in a jet stream,
Yeah.
this MacBook Air was doing this with no problem, fanless.
That's what's up.
So with good temps and stuff, thermal wise. So
Gotta have some impressive heat sinks in there.
yeah, I'm pretty interested, but it's obviously something that will be way far off. We'll probably let them get out a generation or two before.
Oh yeah, always good to let them work out some of the kinks.
Yeah, well, this is actually one of the first. A lot of the tech YouTubers that I watch and tech reviewers and stuff. One common thing is, especially when it comes to new, is they always tell you you're going to be a guinea pig if you buy this. So I'd recommend that you wait a generation or two if you're still interested in this product then.
Yeah.
Which I think is good rational advice,
Definitely.
But this is actually one of the first times I've seen a lot of them say, I actually recommend this right at first generation. It's just working that well.
Oh, good deal. It's also like, it's not really a first generation, it's a first generation of this iteration.
Well, it's a first generation of their M1 chip, and that's...
Yeah, but that'd be like calling the iPhone 12 a first generation iPhone because it's changed what chip it uses. You know what I mean? It is
yes and no,
it is still a major change on that MacBook side, but it's a product that's been around for a long time, and there's a lot of parts in it that are tried, true, and tested.
It depends on which way you want to look at it, because using the iPhone example, technically the chip itself is an iteration of the first generation chip. They're on A14 or something now, or A13, A13X or some shit. I don't know.
Yeah.
But it's that consistently upgrades with each iPhone. This new M1 chip that they've made or whatever, they just made this. This is brand new to every market, so in that sense,
yeah, so
brand new. The shell and stuff, all the same.
Yeah, but it's in the same way, anytime Intel comes out with a new architecture for their processor, it's still an Intel processor. It's still going to function in the way you expect it to. It's still going to have within a normal bounds where it's a new chip, it's a first generation chip, but it's still a MacBook Air. You know what I mean? It's one new part of it. It's not a full new device.
Well, yeah, but the M1 chip is what I'm talking about here, Bruddah.
Yes, I fully understand that. I'm just saying, as far as it being a first generation device, it shouldn't be a big surprise that it's functioning well, is what I'm getting at.
Well, no, the whole argument is that nobody's arguing that the MacBook Air hardware or anything like the shell is not function. I'd be shocked if that didn't function. It's the fact that this M1 chip, it's Apple's first chip that they've made themselves, did not third party to Intel or AMD or anything.
I thought they've always had proprietary chips.
No, they've always used.
Oh, I've never used it.
No, for your iPad and iPhone and stuff, they've used their A14 and that kind of stuff. And A14X is what they'll use in their iPad Pros and stuff. So in that sense, yes, proprietary chips for that, yeah. But their laptops, no. That's always been Intel and AMD. So
interesting.
This is the first time that they've made their own chip, and so far it's becoming quite impressive. And that's why I say this is their first generation of this chip.
Gotcha. I thought you were saying it in the same way as whenever Intel came out with Sandy Bridge. I was nobody was telling people to not use a Sandy Bridge processor because they just developed it. They were yo, this stuff's twice as fast. Get on it.
No, it's
You know what I mean?
no. It's just like I said. It's just because of this chip that it's running on, and that's why what makes this so impressive. You know, it's all revolving around the chip.
Yeah. Like, I understand processors to the fullest degree. I just didn't realize that Apple had never developed their own processor. I thought they had been doing that. I've never owned an Apple computer outside of the first shit brick solid MacBook Square not MacBook, but whatever that bubble Mac was back in the day.
Right.
Like, whenever it said Macintosh across the front with a rainbow apple, like, that's the only Apple computer I've owned, so I just assumed that everything was proprietary because, they make their own connectors, they do everything themselves.
Yeah.
So I'm just kind of surprised it went this long before they made their own.
No, I mean, who knows the reasoning behind that? I mean, and I don't know. We could go on all night about this. We've already hit our time, so I'll just call it there.
All right.
Anything you would like to you want to give us a shout out or any other shout outs?
Go ahead and find us on Twitter at SBPH6. You can hit us up on email, sbphcontact@gmail.com. We got a Facebook page. You could search for that. We got a YouTube. You just search Shwaddhup Bruddah for that as well. We'll get a link eventually. I think we have to have so many videos, or I don't know. It doesn't let me give us a specific link yet. So, but definitely, we'll have a link for that in the description. We got a Discord. Also be a link in the description. Hit us up there. Love to hear from you guys. We've been, checking the episode maps, seeing people all over the U.S. and would love to hear from you guys. Super interested to see who you are.
Yeah, how'd you hear about us?
Yeah. So other than that, I just have one question.
Let's hear it, brother.
Shwaddhup Bruddah.
Shwaddhup Bruddah.